Bonjour Huns, welcome to Astrology 101. Hope you're all enjoying Sag season. I know I fucking am. Wearing my Brittany jacket today in honour of our leader. It's Brittany bitch. So in the last episode we talked about sun signs. So your sun sign is the main part of your personality. It's the core of that stunning little soul of yours. Today we're going to be talking about moon signs. So I'm going to explain what the moon represents in your chart, and then I'll explain a little bit about the moon signs by their elements. But again, I'm not going to go into too much detail. You'll just have to find the posts for your moon sign on my page. Scroll down. So my own moon is in Virgo, which means my page is organised as fuck. So you'll have no bother finding that moon sign post. If you don't know your moon sign, I can do a reading for you and blow your fucking mind. Have a look at my new website, astrohuns.com, for details on readings and other gorge content. So your moon sign is your emotional side. It's how you express and deal with your own emotions, how in tune you are to the feelings of others, and how you cope with someone crying hysterically in front of you. So if, for example, you're an Aquarius moon, you'll probably just give like a little there, shoulder pat, and avoid direct eye contact. The sun is associated with the father and the moon is associated with the mother. So it's how you see your mother and your own nurturing qualities, or lack thereof. Your sun sign is all your conscious decisions, but your moon sign is the unconscious ones. It's your instinctual reactions and habits. It's the part of yourself that you retreat to for comfort or in times of difficulty. It's kind of like that safe place. I feel like this is just my little theory, but I think with all that's going on in the world right now, people are probably acting more like their moon sign. Like your sun sign is still the main part of your personality, but I just feel like because everyone's so fucking shook right now, their moon sign is kind of leaning over and grabbing that wheel. People kind of are retreating to that place of comfort to cope with all that's going on. Like, I'm not saying your sun sign is irrelevant or anything, because obviously it's not. But I just think that moon signs are coming out a lot more at the moment, whereas it's normally a side of yourself that's more hidden, unless someone knows you very well. Also, an interesting little note: if you have a fire or an air sun, which is typically extroverted, but you also have a water or an earth moon, which is typically introverted, these two may affect each other. So for example, I'm a Sag sun, and Sages are known for being very chatty. They love attention. I am like that, but I would also have times when I'm more shy and reserved because of my Virgo moon. So the reason for this is that if I'm uncomfortable in a situation, I would retreat to the place of comfort and security, which is my Virgo moon. And Virgos are a more introverted sign. So it's just interesting to note, if you do have that yin-yang going on in your sun and moon, you may not necessarily consider yourself to be an extrovert. So looking at the different moon signs then, we'll start with the fire moons, Aries, Leo and Sag. They'd be very emotionally impulsive and reactive, very passionate and expressive. They're generally quite cheery, in a good mood, but you will see their fiery side if you piss them off. The thing about the fire moons though is that if they're angry or upset about something, it never really lasts long. They're already over it. They've moved on to the next thing. So don't worry. Their place of comfort would be keeping active and on the go. So if they're acting manic, doing 17 million things a day, that means they are shook as fuck and you need to check in on them. The earth moons then we have Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. These ones are more reserved emotionally. They're quite guarded and they don't really like to show their emotions too much. They work on logic and prefer to have their emotions under control at all times. This can make them seem a little bit cold, but they're actually very sensitive underneath it all. They just don't want you to know. When they're shook, they tend to find comfort in retreating from the world. They isolate themselves a bit and try to get some form of organisation or control in any way that they can. The earth moons are also very emotionally connected to nature, so this can be a really good way for them to calm down when they're having a shit day. They just get outside. The air moons then, we have Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. They are not really that comfortable with emotions. They're very rational and intelligent, and emotions can be very irrational. So they don't like dealing with that shit. They also don't really get how to cope with their own emotions, so it can get a bit messy at times. Now, some would argue that Libra moons are more in tune with their emotions, which is fair, but they also base their feelings off other people a lot, which is arguably showing that they don't really understand their own emotions. The air moon's place of comfort is through interaction with others. They have to get out and have those chats when they're shook. It's almost like a way for them to distract themselves to focus on other people rather than their own emotions. Then we have the water moons, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. These are the very sensitive ones. Always in them feels. Cancer and Pisces will express their emotions quite easily, but Scorpio moons are a bit of an exception here. They'd feel things with the same intensity as Cancer and Pisces moons, but they'd kind of be more like the earth signs in a way with expressing their emotions, in that they'd rather like chop their left tit off than tell you how they feel. Unless they really trust you, then they might open up. Might. Unlikely, but they might. Water moons are very intuitive and empathetic, so they'll be the ones who are there for you with the tissues and Ben and Jerry's when you're shook. When they're shook themselves, they tend to isolate themselves. They retreat into those feels. Journaling is a big one with the water moons. They have to get out all those feelings onto the page. So yeah, that's kind of it for this episode. Have a look for the post on your moon sign on my page. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Look after yourselves and your little fragile moon sign. Thanks for following, and keep an eye out for the next episode of Astrology 101 when we'll be talking about rising signs. Okay, bye.